2023. On behalf of Team NCCR, I extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I now request our honorable dignitaries to take their seats on the dais. Our chief guest, Shri Kiren Rijiju, the Honorable Union Minister of Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary to the Minister of Earth Sciences, Professor Sushil Kumar, Professor Sushil Kumar, Director Research, University of South Pacific, Fiji, Ms. Beate Gabrielsen, Counselor, Head of the Political Section of the Royal Norwegian Embassy in New Delhi, and Dr. M. V. Ramanamurthy, Director, NCCR, and Mission Director, Deep Ocean Mission. Thank you very much. I now call upon my colleagues to start the program with an invocation. For this, I request you all to kindly rise.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignau Guru Medeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvata
Gananayakaya Ganadaivataya Ganadhyakshaya Dhimahi Gunasariraya Gunamanditaya Gunesanaya Dhimahi
Gunaditaya Gunadishaya Gunapravestaya Dhimahi
Ekadantaya Vakratundaya Gauritanayaya Dhimahi Gajeshanaya Bhalachandraya Sri Ganeshaya Dhimahi Ekadantaya Vakratundaya Gauritanayaya Dhimahi Gajeshanaya Bhalachandraya Sri Ganeshaya Dhimahi.
Thank you. As NCCR turns 25, the team is all set to work towards many more years of excellence in the field of coastal research along with our national and international collaborators. We have come a long way, but have embarked on a journey that is far from over. With this brief introduction, I would like to call upon Dr. M. V. Ramanamurthy, Scientist G and Director NCCR and Mission Director Deep Ocean Mission, to present the welcome address.
Respected Sri Kiren Rijiju, Honorable Minister for Earth Sciences, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary Minister of Earth Sciences, Ms. B.T. Gabrielsen, Counselor, Norwegian Embassy, Professor Sushil Kumar, Director of Research, University of South Pacific, Fiji, international delegates, colleagues from MOS fraternity, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to this conference on advances in coastal research with specific reference to Indo-Pacific region, AdCoRe-IP 23. In fact, this is the second conference. The first one was held in 2019. As a member of IPIC, India has reiterated its commitment to the Pacific Island countries when our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji launched the exclusive Center for Sustainable Coastal and Ocean Research Institute. It is termed as CORE in Fiji during FIPIC 3 summit held on 22nd May 2023. In this connection, this workshop holds a lot of significance as the common challenges for the coastal and marine regions are being discussed and recommendations are made to plan our research activities that translate into societal services for the region. NCCR was established as a project directorate with minimal staff in 1998, and this year it marks our silver jubilee with new scientific research areas. We are happy that our Honorable Ministry has taken its time out and to participate and then join with us this important event. National Center for Coastal Research undertakes multidisciplinary research relating to the marine pollution, coastal process and hazards, coastal habitats, and ecosystem that provides a scientific solution and technical support to the coastal states in the activities related to the sustainable management of the coastal areas. I briefly give an overview of what activities have been undertaken at NCCR. NCCR monitors the health of the coastal waters using the coastal research vessel and automated observation buoys for prediction of water quality and prepare a national action plan for the states in abatement of marine pollution. The data on this coastal water quality is being shared with the central government, state government, as well as various stakeholders. In fact, this particular data is useful for defining a United Nations framework for Sustainable Development Goal 14. NCCR has been identified as a national nodal center for Ministry's Marine Litter and Plastics Program and research activities and awareness programs on beach litter. And this has been taken in a huge way as a part of Swachha Sagar and Surashti Sagar of the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Shoreline changes rates along the Indian coast has been mapped at 1:25,000 scale to facilitate coastal managers to deal with coastal protection. The Institute has taken up a task of preparation of shoreline management plan for many coastal states. Now Tamil Nadu and Kerala are being the beginning of these plans. Ecosystem monitoring and restoration studies are underway for conserving and preserving ecosystem. NCCR has set up a field station in Mandapam exclusively for this purpose. NCCR, along with our sister institutes, Indian Meteorological Center, National Center for Medium Weather and Forecast, and IITM, and in association with state government, have developed an integrated flood warning system which is in operation at Chennai and Mumbai to tackle the extreme floods in these areas. NCCR works closely with almost all the coastal governments. We are working on developing shore protection strategies for the government of Kerala, Puducherry. We have also been given a responsibility of developing detailed project report for Kalpasar. This is one of the largest freshwater reservoir in the Gujarat to serve the entire Saurashtra region. At an international level, is also involved in the collaborative work with government of Norway in developing marine spatial plans. In fact, our Honorable Minister has already visited Norway in this connection. And further marine plastics in marine litter research in collaboration with CIFAS, United Kingdom, Jamstack, Japan, Indo-Pacific regions are in pipeline. In fact, under the IPA pillar, we are also collaborating with Australia in marine litter and ecosystem. NCCR will now have an exclusive world-class water research laboratory at Visakhapatnam and administrative building in Chennai, for which land has already been acquired. I am happy to state that activities and programs of NCCR will contribute significantly to the blue economy of our country. I once again welcome you, sir, and all international and national delegates for this exclusive workshop. Thank you all, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. As part of the Government of India's vision to enhance engagement with the Pacific Islands, the Sustainable Coastal and Ocean Research Institute, or SCORI, is being established at the University of the South Pacific in Fiji, facilitating sharing of India's experiences in sustainable development with the Pacific Island countries. Professor Sushil Kumar, Director Research, University of South Pacific, Fiji, has nearly 3 decades of research and teaching experience in the field of atmospheric and space physics, and has participated in the 18th Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica. I now request Professor Sushil Kumar to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, and thank you, MC. Respected Honorable Minister of Earth Sciences, Government of India, Shri Kiren Rijiju, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary MOES, the former Secretaries of MOES, Ms. B.T. Gabrielson, Counselor of Head of the Political Section, Royal Norwegian Embassy, New Delhi, Dr. M.B. Ramanamurthy, the Director NCCR, the former Directors of NCCR, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I wish to sincerely congratulate National Center for Coastal Research on its 25th Silver Jubilee anniversary and the achievements it has made that are of great scientific and practical importance. On the behalf of the University of the South Pacific, Fiji, that serves and is owned by the 12 Pacific Island countries, I stand before you with a profound sense of gratitude and humbleness on the closing of the International Workshop on Advances in Coastal Research with special reference to Indo-Pacific 2023. Over past 2 days, we have had privileges of engaging in enriching discussions, sharing cutting-edge research, fostering collaborations in the realm of coastal studies, including the subjects on shoreline management, coastal protection, climate change and coastal flooding, blue economy and ocean accounting, marine pollution, coastal ecosystem services, and many other relevant topics. We have learned that the Indo-Pacific region is one of the most diverse and productive coastal ecosystems, but also faces the numerous threats, both natural and anthropogenic, related with the climate change. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, pollution, habitat destruction, over-exploitation of resources are among the pressing challenges that demand our attention and collaborative efforts. Please allow me to say a few words about SCORE. Through the collaborations with esteemed colleagues and scholars from NCCR under MOES, NCCR and the University of the South Pacific have signed a MOU on the Sustainable Coastal and Ocean Research Institute, and the institute was officially launched on 17th May by the Honorable Prime Ministers of both the countries, India and Fiji. This institute will greatly enhance our research activities, capacity building, contributing to the sustainability of Pacific Ocean and aligning its areas with the Blue Pacific 2050 strategy of the Pacific leaders. I most sincerely like to thank and express my gratefulness to the Honorable Minister Sri Kiren Rijiju and Dr. Ravichandranji, Secretary of MOES, for their financial support and the attention towards SCORE. Thank you very much, sir. We, with the great sense of humbleness, extend a warm invitation from the Fiji and the University of the South Pacific to Honorable Minister and respected Secretary of MOS to please visit Fiji and USP and bless us towards the successful implementation and running of the SCORE. I am sure, sir, that you will accept this invitation, and I will be very happy to communicate this one to the High Commission of India in Fiji. Thank you very much. I think before that, I must thank and congratulate Director Dr. Ramana Murthy and his team for highly successfully organizing this workshop and giving all of us an opportunity to discuss the frontline issues. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad Vinaka Wakalebu in native Fiji language. That means thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Tune Usha, Scientist G, NCCR, and convener of AdCoRe-IP 2023 to present the recommendations of the workshop.
Respected Chief Guests, dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen, I deem it my privilege to present the recommendations of AdCoRe-IP 2023. This workshop was organized to bring scientific experts, academicians, researchers, and policymakers to a common platform for deliberating on the challenges of coastal regions, identify technological and scientific expertise and gaps in this region, and provide inputs to help steer the course of coastal research in this country and the Indo-Pacific region. AdCoRe-IP 2023 was a two-day event and had about 270 participants who registered yesterday. We have international representations from Fiji, Japan, Vietnam, Australia, and Norway, and national experts drawn from all premier institutions of this country. We had 9 thematic sessions since yesterday, and all sessions were organized as panel discussions with experts leading the sessions, followed by interactive sessions with the audience. I'll just give the recommendations of the sessions one by one. The first session was on shoreline management and coastal protection. To give you a backdrop, National Shoreline Atlas is prepared and updated every 2 years by NCCR, and this information is disseminated to all coastal states. We also do an extensive mapping of the coastal infrastructure and also help in coastal protection, designing coastal protection structures. So the major recommendations for this session was coastal protection measures should include adaptation of climate change and sea level rise, site-specific study of historical behavior of the coast, holistic model approach, soft solution, and should be implemented in totality. Importance should be given to collection and use of primary and secondary data for modeling and preparing the shoreline management plan. A proper guideline for primary and secondary data sets for modeling aspects is needed. Region-specific design guidelines for coastal protection for coastal engineering to be developed. A new approach in delineating sediment cells through sediment dynamics is needed. The closure depth and minimum beach level are essential part of shoreline management plan. Computation of minimum beach level is one of the essential requirements of SMP. NCCR should take initiative for drafting guidelines for which part of the climate of the country need what type of coastal protection. So these are the major recommendations of the first session. This was followed. We had an interactive session with the students. We had students from 4 city schools, and it was a very interesting session, and it went on for more than 2 hours with the students interacting with experts, Dr. Ravichandran, Secretary MOES, Dr. Balasubramaniam, Dr. Goel, Dr. David Eggleston, all had a very detailed discussion with the students, and it was followed with prize distribution for the competitions that we had held earlier. The third session was on climate change and coastal flooding. To give you a backdrop, NCCR along with IMD, NCMRWF, IITM had developed operational flood warning systems for Chennai, Mumbai, and Calcutta is under development. This work is being done with active participation of the local administration. Also, NCCR and INCOIS are working on bringing out the coastal inundation risk atlas for the entire country, and we released the atlas for the Tamil Nadu coast yesterday. So the major recommendations from this committee was the expert recommended to improve the spatial resolution of the data sets, use ensemble data, and work towards developing iFloats in nowcasting mode. Bias corrected forecast should be used. More rain gauges and Doppler radar should be put up in different places. NCCR should actively collaborate with IMD and work on WMO's new initiative on inundation, flooding, and mapping SIF EWS. NCCR to build framework for longer vision, dynamic flood modeling to be attempted. So these were the major recommendations on this session. Then we had a very interesting session with the coastal stakeholders. NCCR has been carrying out lot of projects with respect to the along with the state government. We call it G2G interactions. So we had representation from almost all the coast from the states from the east coast and from Kerala and things like that. And the major requirement, not recommendation, the requirements from these coastal states were they needed information on the remedial measures for coastal protection, role of coastal vegetation for coastal protection, biodiversity mapping was required, and carrying capacity for beaches for promotion of mariculture was all requirement from the states, and inclusive development and development mainstreaming to DRR was the requirement from the coastal stakeholders. Then we had a session on blue economy and ocean accounting. As a backdrop, I'd like to tell you that NCCR, as a part of Indo-Norwegian collaboration, is working with IMR and we have developed the draft MSP for 2 areas, Puducherry and Lakshadweep, along with the administrations of Lakshadweep and Puducherry. So the major recommendations in this session was mapping of oceans and coastal areas should be done to provide information for usage of coastal and marine space. MSP to be developed for all coastal states and should cover the area from shoreline to EEZ. A framework or a robust methodology should be done for ocean accounting. And it was imperative to develop a governance structure for blue economy with convergence and integration of the interministerial decision making for future projects and development. Then today morning we had a session on marine pollution. As a backdrop, NCCR does a lot of projects related to marine pollution. We do a seawater quality program. We also do coastal protection, and we have an extensive program on ecotoxicology, and we also work on marine litter and microplastics. So the major recommendations for this session was monitoring, quantification and analysis to be carried out as per international guidelines, more studies to be undertaken to identify plastic leakage pathways across the country. Pollutants from atmosphere and submarine groundwater should also be studied. More attempts are required to collect data on bioaccumulation of inorganic and organic pollutants. National marine polluter policy to be developed, and more biological ectoparasites and endoparasites indices to be developed. Then the last session was on coastal ecosystems and services. So as a backdrop, NCCR is involved in mapping and restoration of coastal ecosystems, and we are also working on ecosystem services. The recommendations of this session was the concept of MSP to be extended across the Indian coast as it is very important for sustainable management of coastal ecosystems, a detailed biogeographic information system to be developed for the entire country, policy and legal framework for ecosystem services to be developed in consultation with different stakeholders, and proper mechanism for sensitizing the local community on the services provided by the ecosystem services to be explained. Then we had 2 sessions on coastal marine instrumentation services, wherein we brought the industry partners together to know what are the latest development in instruments. And then a detailed Kavi Sammelan was organized by our Hindi nodal officers, where about 13 and 14 poets participated. So we thank all the chairs, co-chairs, panelists for their recommendation and for giving specific directions for coastal research that needs to be undertaken in future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It is now time to felicitate our distinguished guest for the day. I request Dr. M.V. Ramanamurthy to felicitate our chief guest, the Honorable Union Minister of the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Shri Kiren Rijiju, with a shawl and a memento. Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, to felicitate the Honorable Union Minister of Earth Sciences. Thank you very much. NCCR's journey over 25 years has been a phenomenal one. These milestones and memories have been compiled into a short video. I request our special guest for today, Shri Kiren Rijiju, to kindly release the video compilation of NCCR at 25.
Several centuries signifies deep connection to the sea, with the golden age of Indian seafarers tracing back to the Indus Valley civilization. This historical significance highlights India's rich maritime heritage, spanning several centuries, signifies its deep connection to the sea, with the golden age of Indian seafarers tracing back to the Indus Valley civilization. This historical significance highlights the importance of the blue economy, which recognized the balanced development of coastal areas, preservation of the ocean environment, and the geopolitical relevance of India's 9 coastal states and 4 coastal union territories. Ministry of Earth Sciences established the National Centre for Coastal Research, NCCR, previously known as ICMAM PD, at Chennai in 1998, with aim to provide management solutions for sustainable development of coastal areas. NCCR undertakes multidisciplinary research on coastal processes and hazards, marine pollution, critical habitats and ecosystem for inclusive development by protecting environment. NCCR offers G2G technical support to all coastal states for effective management of their coastal areas. Today, NCCR moves into its 26th year with research translating into services to coastal states. At this juncture, NCCR likes to sincerely thank the visionaries, leaders, RAC team members, and all its national and international collaborators who have contributed their best of support to NCCR in this successful journey. Starting with Integrated Coastal Zone Management ICZM plans, monitoring health of coastal waters, developing standards for seawater quality, technical solutions for coastal protection, vulnerability maps for tsunami and storm surges inundation, mapping of critical habitats and restoration, NCCR rises to the challenges for translating scientific information into sound management of our coast. Monitoring seawater quality is a key aspect for maintaining health of coastal water through in-situ monitoring at 50 locations to assess more than 25 physical, chemical and biological parameters. This information is valuable in formulating a national action plan to combat marine pollution. NCCR shares this information with stakeholders such as Niti Aayog, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, pollution control boards and academia, and contributes to the development of an index for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 14, focused on life below water. Automated sensor-based water quality monitoring buoys are deployed for continuous monitoring of the coastal environment, complementing in-situ monitoring efforts. These advanced methods aid in predicting water quality, assessing pollutant levels, and studying their dispersion through modeling techniques. In the realm of marine ecotoxicology, the Institute has made significant strides in developing seawater quality criteria (SWQC) for multiple pollutants. Through rigorous studies, standards have been established for 7 metals: copper, mercury, cadmium, lead, zinc, arsenic and chromium, and 1 pesticide, monocrotophos, duly notified by the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. Acknowledging the growing threat of plastics in coastal and marine environments, NCCR initiated the Marine Litter and Plastics Research, which focuses on comprehending plastic distribution within coastal ecosystems, examining different environmental compartments, and understanding the journey of plastics from source to sink to formulate marine litter policy. Additionally, NCCR conducts awareness programs on plastic pollution, targeting diverse stakeholders as part of the Ministry's campaign Swachh Sagar, Surakshit Sagar, aimed at 75 beaches, which is a huge success in creation of awareness. NCCR stands at the forefront in studying ecosystem services provided by the coastal habitats for increasing our natural capital through ecosystem modeling program by understanding the economic value and potential of coastal habitats through comprehensive assessments of physical processes, biogeochemical processes, and predictions of production and fishery status. Coral reef restoration and management efforts at Gulf of Mannar to restore degraded reefs and sustain biodiversity helped in understanding response of ecosystem to climate change. Coastal erosion has been recognized as natural disaster across the globe due to climate change and developmental pressure. Almost 48% of Indian coast has been subjected to sea erosion, causing loss of land and flooding of coastal areas. National shoreline assessment was made using 30 years data and 1:25,000 scale maps are prepared for all the coastal states and union territories. Site-specific coastal protection solutions are designed and demonstrated at several coastal states. The fishing village at Chellam in Kerala could get relief from flooding and sea erosion after implementation of the solution designed by NCCR. Now, the Institute has been given a task of preparation of shoreline management plans by many coastal states. NCCR utilizes cutting-edge technologies such as remote sensing, GIS, artificial intelligence, and visualization techniques for effective disaster risk reduction and mitigation. Operational Integrated Flood Warning System, iFlows, has been developed for coastal cities as a multi-institutional project under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, MOES. Integrated with impact-based forecasting from the Indian Meteorological Department, IMD, iFlows provide ward-level flooding forecasts 3 days in advance in Chennai, Mumbai. Mobile apps like Toondil and Clean Coast are serving as adaptation tools for coastal states by state departments. Recognizing the commitment to applied research, the Center was entrusted with the task of preparation of a detailed project report, DPR, for the Kalpasar Dike project, one of the most prestigious and challenging projects of the government of Gujarat. The Kalpasar Dike project is a multi-purpose project of the Kalpasar department which involves the construction of a 60-kilometer-long earthen dam across the Gulf of Khambhat that will connect Bhavnagar and Dahej, which is one of the largest sea dikes in the world to be built for creation of freshwater reservoir to provide water to Saurashtra region of Gujarat. NCCR is making significant strides in marine spatial planning, aiming for a sustainable blue economy, and has completed draft plans for Puducherry and Lakshadweep under Indo-Norway collaborative effort to serve as replicable models for other coastal areas, ensuring effective marine resource management and economic growth with environmental sustainability. Our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, recently launched the Sustainable Coastal and Ocean Research Institute, SCORI, at Fiji Islands during the 3rd FIPIC Summit. And NCCR will play the lead role in setting up and supporting the institute. With a dedicated team of scientists, engineers, and technical staff, NCCR is rising to the occasion, actively meeting its mission and responding to the needs of coastal communities. NCCR has expanded its footprint by initiating a world-class water quality laboratory at Visakhapatnam, a dedicated field center for ecosystems at Rameshwaram, and a new center at Nemmeli. NCCR's coastal research vision will continue to be strongly focused on advancing India's efforts to build a thriving blue economy and bolster the nation's commitment to a healthy, sustainable, and vibrant blue ocean.
Thank you. It has been quite a task to put together all these years of NCCR's journey into a small coffee table book. This publication shall be a tribute to the many years of hard work and in remembrance of each and every one's contribution to shape the center as we see it today. I request Sri Kiren Rijiju, the Minister of Earth Sciences, to release this coffee table book as well. Thank you, sir. It is with joy that we have in our midst a Norwegian diplomat who has worked in the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as in the Royal Norwegian Embassy in Canberra, Australia. She is now the counselor, head of the political section of the Royal Norwegian Embassy in New Delhi. With this, I'd like to call upon Ms. Beate Gabrielsen to share her thoughts with us.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Earth Sciences, Shri Kiran Rijiju, dear Secretary Dr. Ravichandran, dear Director of NCCR, Dr. Murthy, Professor Kumar, distinguished guest researchers, students and colleagues, thank you again for inviting Norway as a special guest to this 25th Jubilee of NCCR. And congratulations to our good friend and partner, NCCR, for all your achievements the last 25 years. It is a great honor to be here on behalf of Norway and address this final session together with such distinguished guests. I wanted to start by thanking the Honorable Minister for his recent and quite extensive visit to Norway in June. The Minister visited several places in Norway, including Svalbard, the cold Norwegian archipelago up in the Arctic, consisting mainly of snow and ice, polar bears, Norwegians, and researchers from around the world. We have noted with excitement that India's Arctic Research Center, Himadri, may be manned around the year. The visit has emphasized the close relationship between Norway and India in the ocean and research space, and we hope to see this increase even more in the future. As I mentioned yesterday, the ocean is close to my heart. Norwegians still mainly live by and of the ocean, and the ocean is key to our history, identity, and economy. 70% of our exports are ocean-related and has been so for more than 1,000 years. Today, our oceans are under threat, and their role in climate and climate change needs to be better understood. Healthy, living, and productive oceans is a requirement for sustainable growth for both Norway, for India, and for the world. As we have heard throughout this workshop, we need research and we need cooperation to solve the challenges we are facing. I am happy to note that sharing knowledge and learning from each other is the core of the India-Norway cooperation. The ties between Norway and India in the ocean space are many and close. Our task force on blue economy is fully in force, and we have a close dialogue with Ministry of Earth Sciences and other involved Indian ministries at the central level. We also have close dialogue with the Union Territories of Pondicherry and Lakshadweep, the states Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and engagements up and down the coast on both sides of India. We look forward to the next meeting in the Task Force on Blue Economy chaired by the MOES. The Norwegian Minister of Development and Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs are both planning to visit India this fall. We hope we then can take our ocean dialogue forward during their visits. India has great ambitions for its blue economy, and the bilateral cooperation on integrated ocean management and marine spatial planning, where NCCR has a key role, is timely and relevant. We hope our sharing of lessons learned from 20 years of experience in making integrated management plans for the Norwegian exclusive economic zone can also be useful for meeting India's blue economy goals. However, as my colleague, Dr. Erik Olsen from the Norwegian Institute for Marine Research emphasized yesterday, Norwegian researchers and experts are learning as much from you as you learn from us. The cooperation is mutual, beneficial to our two countries, and has strengthened the connections even more. To conclude, we wanted to use this occasion to hand over a small birthday gift to NCCR from the Norwegian institutions involved in the cooperation. So may I invite Dr. Erik Olsen from IMR to the stage to hand over the gift to NCCR, if there's a... now he just left. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for that gesture. We truly hope India and Norway continue to work together and our ties only keep getting stronger. It is indeed a pleasure to once again introduce Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary to the Minister of Earth Sciences. Ravichandran sir has been a constant source of encouragement to NCCR and its activities. He is also a member of several premium national and international committees and teams like the International Arctic Science Committee and is the Vice President of the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research, SCAR, of Indian International Science Council Capacity Building. Without further ado, I request our dear Secretary to say a few words.
Respected Honorable Union Minister of Earth Sciences, Sri Kiran Rijiju ji, Ms. Beat Gabrielson, the Norwegian Embassy, Royal Norwegian Embassy, Professor Sushil Kumar, Director, University of South Pacific, Fiji, Dr. Ramanamurthy, distinguished delegates, invitees from abroad and India, and my colleagues from MOES family. Very good afternoon to all of you. Of course, it is indeed a great pleasure to be here as part of this 25 years celebration of NCCR. First and foremost, I thank our Honorable Minister for taking his time to come and wish NCCR on this 25th year of celebration, as well as the Indo-Pacific workshop, which was started yesterday. As you all know that the Indo-Pacific region, as I mentioned that yesterday also, it is a very complex region where you name it anything ecologically, oceanographic purpose, or in atmospheric sense, or geostrategy, or geopolitical, all these things, this region drives, as well as it is the major player in this region. And especially in the warming world and the climate change scenario, how the coast is changing in this region is very important, because we need to protect our ocean as well as to prevent the ocean from various pollution, as well as various global warming scenario and other things. I think NCCR has taken up a lead role in contributing to the coastal research, not only for the marine pollution, but also for shoreline management and the impact of climate change due to the coastal areas, and most importantly, now they are planning to contribute the blue economy, which is going to come by India's vision document of 2030. I think some of the recommendation I just listen. Of course, this is not the recommendation for the NCCR, it is for all of us. So we need to work together to safeguard our coast, not only all the areas of coastal areas, not only for India, but also the Indo-Pacific region, because ocean is not your ocean or our ocean, it is a one ocean. So we need to work together for contributing to the ocean in terms of understanding, as well as in terms of providing valued services to the humankind. As I always feel that ocean is having oceans of opportunity, but at the same time it has challenges. So we need to harness the ocean sustainably. At the same time, we need to mitigate, or maybe we have to preserve, or maybe we have to equip with the various disasters, especially in the oceanic disasters, cyclones, tsunami, or maybe the heat waves and associated storm surges and other things. So I am sure that some of the recommendation we will try to implement as soon as possible, and we are also very soon we are going to come out with blue economy. So this recommendation definitely will be helpful for implementation, not only for the India, as a total global community. With this, I once again thank Honorable Minister for sparing his time, and once again I wish NCCR for the 25th anniversary as well as happy birthday, and I am sure that in the coming years and decade they will contribute much more than what they have contributed so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I deem it an honor and privilege to introduce our dynamic Minister of Earth Sciences, Sri Kiran Rijiju. The Honorable Union Minister has taken charge of the Ministry of Earth Sciences in May 2023. However, we have had the privilege of having him at the Institute on World Ocean Day 2023, and we look forward to meeting with him many more times and work under his dynamic leadership in the future. Coming from the mountains, Sir is ready to take on the skies and seas. Without further delay, I humbly request our Minister, Shri Kiren Rijiju, to share his thoughts with us on this iconic day. Please, sir.
Namaskar. Respected Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary in the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Ms. Betty Gabrielsen, the Councillor and Head of the Political Section in the Royal Norwegian Embassy, Professor Sushil Kumar, Director Research, University of South Pacific, Fiji, Dr. M.V. Ramanamurthy, Director NCCR, and the learned guest, Dr. Disuke and Dr. Hidaka from Japan, Dr. Erik Olsen from Norway, Dr. Lan Hong from Vietnam, Mr. Justin from IOC UNESCO, Mr. David Eggleston from the Australian Embassy and Deputy Commissioner, and our senior officers, scholars, and the participants. I am very delighted to be here once again within a span of a month, and to be on the final day, the concluding day of very important international workshop on advances in coastal research with special references to the Indo-Pacific region. And we just heard the recommendations being forwarded by the various points coming from your thematic sessions. And I felt that those recommendations, as Secretary also mentioned, is not only for the center and not only for the participating countries, but I think it's a requirement for the global community. These very generic, critical recommendations are so important and relevant that we just can't ignore it. And it has come after lots of deliberation, intense discussion amongst you. You all have vast experiences and you have the appropriate knowledges and ideas about how to protect our coastal regions and the seas and the areas nearby the coastal areas. India being a nation with a long coastal line, we will have to play a very proactive role. Although compared to Norway, our coastal length is not that long, but 7,500 is very long. But if you look at the map, I never thought that the coastal line of Norway was so long. And that day when I was in Oslo, then I was made to understand that due to the calculation and all these fjords and different islands which Norway has, I think close to 82,000 length of coastal distance in measurement, and ours is only 7,500 kilometers. So Norway, definitely, I have learned a lot when I was there last month, and Mr. Olen is here. Erik Olsen, he is here, and we had the opportunity to had a good interaction in Norway, in Bergen also, in Oslo also. And in Svalbard, I learned a lot from the Norwegian Polar Institute. And of course, I had a good interaction with the governor there and the foreign minister and the research and higher education minister of Norway. And all our participating friends from different countries here. We look forward to work in close coordination with all of you, because all the participating delegates are representing those important nations which have huge experiences in this field. And I'm also grateful to Professor Sushilji for inviting me to visit Fiji. Definitely, if we make an appropriate forum for the discussion, I will be glad to go there. I had been there in 2018, but that was in different capacity. I was holding different portfolio in the previous government. It's always great to be in a beautiful country like Fiji. So, and I hope not only me, the important relevant countries also would be participating in that occasion. And also this 2 days workshop which you already had deliberated upon, we will need to coordinate further to ensure that this discussion continues and the recommendations which have come are followed up closely. I can assure you that from the government of India's side, we will enhance our capacity as well as our resources in terms of giving more priority. As Secretary mentioned about the blue economy and our draft policy on it, and also our deep ocean mission, all this indicate that India is going to take a lead role in all these matters. And I, as was mentioned, I come from a very deep inland location from high Himalayan mountains. I came into contact with the ocean very late. As a child, we used to hear about the seas and the oceans, just like fairy tale stories. So when we grew up, people from Himalayas will definitely be excited to go to the beaches and to see the unending seashore. So when I first came to Mumbai, I saw the ocean for the first time. It was difficult to comprehend that time. But now I realize that if there is a threat to ocean, it's a threat to humanity itself. It is so relevant, so much directly connected to all of us. I feel with regards to our understanding about the ocean, the global community has just started. I think the exploration inside the ocean and beneath the ocean is far less than what we have achieved in the space. So from that angle, we really need to gear up, really need to go inside. But I always been very careful that when we talk about larger contribution of ocean in our economy, we have to be more careful in ensuring that the sustainable goal, which we all are signatory, must be followed up, must be maintained, must be respected. Because we just cannot go and exploit the ocean. The life in ocean, the marine life, it's so complicated and fragile. So I have to ensure that as the minister in this Ministry of Earth and Earth Sciences, we really expand the role of our ministry also. I'm very lucky to have the secretary who has already worked in all the institutes under the ministry. He must be the only officer who is secretary in the ministry who has already had the experience of working in all the institutes. And his PhD was about all the atmosphere and climate change. So I'm, from the day one when I took over this ministry, I got absolute support and the backup which a minister would require. So I'm very fortunate, and during my past few months, the institutes wherever I have gone, I'm very impressed with the way the institutes are not only maintained, but the deep research work done by our scientists, researchers, engineers, very appreciable. India as a large growing economy, our requirement, you all know, is always huge. As a country with the largest population in the planet. We require so many things, but at the same time, we have to show to the world that we are always careful about our environment, about our climate. So this National Center for Coastal Research here, of course, it is within the campus of NIOT, but Secretary and we all are discussing that it must have its own very appropriate, befitting campus, its own center, so that the expansive territorial requirement which you have, in your jurisdiction is matching with the office and support from the ministry. And also, I would like to appreciate all the participants for taking part in this very critical workshop. And 2 days of deliberation, I would assure you, will not go in vain, will not go, properly unattended. I will definitely ensure that all those recommendations and all other things which are required to be given priority by the government will be given top priority. And also, I can share with you, the Honorable Prime Minister is very keen to expand our role in the ocean and high seas. Definitely in the days to come, people who work in the coastal region, about the seas, about the marine life, you are going to have very interesting days ahead, because your roles, your functioning are going to be more larger than what you are right now facing. Once again, I don't want to deliberate on the subject matter, because you have already discussed and deliberated and recommendations have come. So at this point of time, I don't need to go into the subject matter on which I have already gone through your brief recommendation. But very soon, we will ensure that we will update ourselves and to see that how much we have progressed in terms of not only accepting but taken action on those recommendations. I wish our visiting guests are in Delhi. I could have invited you for tea, lunch, dinner, but I think I'm very sure that our officers here are making your stay comfortable here. And whenever you are in Delhi, I would like to invite all of you to be my guest. But having said that, please enjoy your stay in India, the beautiful city of Chennai, and you can explore beyond also. And India as a large country, it's not enough to explore India in a week time. So in one visit, you can see only one part of India. So definitely, this is not your last visit. I would invite the friends from our participating countries to come again and be a partner to our effort. And also, I would like to assure our all the delegates coming from different institutes, and especially the students, the young students, that the scientific community are driving India's dream. You all know this is our 75th years of independence. So we are celebrating Amrit Kal. And Prime Minister has already set a vision by 2047, where should India be at? So that is why the scientific community will play a key role in fulfilling the aspiration of the people of the country and also fulfilling the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much for your kind words of inspiration, sir. As NCCR strongly believes that our generation next, the students, are the future custodians of the coast, a photography and videography contest was held for college students to create awareness on the significance and need to preserve our coast. We have received an overwhelming response of 822 photographs and 60 videos from students of colleges across the country. Before we move on to the prize distribution, I request the 3 winning entries of the videography competition to be played, please.
கடலில் சேரும் பிளாஸ்டிக்கால் ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் 10 லட்சம் கடல் பறவைகள், 1 லட்சம் கடல்வாழ் பாலூட்டிகள் மற்றும் அரிய வகை மீன் இனங்கள் அழிந்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றன. தற்போதைய நிலையில் உலகம் முழுவதும் கடலில் மிதக்கும் பிளாஸ்டிக்கின் அளவு 15 கோடி மெட்ரிக் டன் என மதிப்பிடப்பட்டுள்ளது. இதில் ஆண்டுக்கு 5 லட்சம் டன் முதல் 30 லட்சம் டன் வரையிலான பிளாஸ்டிக் ஆறுகள் வழியாக கடலில் கலக்கின்றன.
சுழற்சி வழியில் நெகிழியை வடிவமைக்கவும் உற்பத்தி செய்யவும் நுகரவும் ஊக்கப்படுத்த அரசுகள் உறுதியான கொள்கைகளை அறிமுகம் செய்ய வேண்டும்.
Marine coasts are life for human and aquarium beings. For the future life, we all should just take care of our kind nature. Nowadays, humans and mankind use the utilities from nature. Some seawater is used for our sake. But we are not protecting those seashores. Here the polluted seashores affected and the marine coast just populate the awareness for the people around the seashores. And also, we should increase the caution signs near those seashores for some knowledge to the people who also visit.
Do you know that someone protects our coasts and seashores? They are called green soldiers of our coastal ecosystem. They are mangrove. In the temple town of Chidambaram near Pichavaram, Tamil Nadu, the Tillai tree, a type of mangrove, is believed to have active chemicals that cure leprosy. Sadly, more than half of the world's mangrove forests have been destroyed by rapid developmental activities. Our oceans sustain life, and abundant ocean can feed 1 billion of people healthy meal every day forever.
Thank you. For the prize distribution, I request the students to come on stage as their names are called. I also request our honorable chief guest to give away the prizes, sir. First prize for videography competition, Ms. K. Kavya and Mr. Sanjin Sanjay from Satyabama University, Chennai. First prize for photography competition, theme Marine Biodiversity, Mr. Flaming R.D. from Manonmaniam Sundaranar University, Tirunelveli. First prize photography competition theme Coastal Landscapes, Ms. Tarani Srinidhi from Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Chennai. Thank you very much, sir. With this, we are nearing the end of today's program. I now request Dr. Pravakar Mishra, Scientist G, NCCR, to present the vote of thanks.
Good evening. I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks to all the contributors of the international workshop on advances in coastal research and special reference to Indo-Pacific AdCoRe-IP 2023 to mark 25 years Silver Jubilee celebration of our institute. I thank our chief guest, Honorable Minister Sri Kiran Rijiju, Minister of Earth Science, Government of India. Sir, your presence today to this function has immensely enhanced its importance. We are extremely grateful to your captivating, insightful address about coastal research and future expectations from us. My sincere thanks to Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary MOES, for his continuous support to the development of this institute growth, and also, as our Honorable Minister already mentioned, he has worked all over almost all the institutes of this ministry. So his constant guidance towards the improvisations of our institute is very required. Special thanks to our guests of honor, Mrs. Vite Gabrielson, Counselor, Head of Political Section of the Royal Norwegian Embassy, New Delhi, for showing her keen interest in this program and taking time out of her busy schedule to attend the event, and your presence made our celebration more memorable. We'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our special guest, our former secretaries, Dr. P.S. Goel, Dr. M. Rajivan, for continuous monitoring and visionary guidance to shape the Institute's performance and growth. NCCR is also thankful to Dr. Justin Ahannozu, IOC UNESCO, France, for sparing his busy from his busy schedule to participate in this productive 2 days workshop, and your presence really made our celebration more fruitful. We are also thank our Honorable Founder Director, Dr. B.R. Subramaniam, and Didan Former Director, Dr. Sampath, their initial efforts towards the development of this ICMAM PD to NCCR. Special thanks to all the directors of our ministries, sister institutes, former directors, and other dignitaries, and all your presence made this workshop a successful one. My heartfelt gratitude to Professor S.K. Mohanty, the RIS New Delhi, Dr. Behra, Jamsek, friends from Norway, Japan, UK, Vietnam, Australia, and Fiji for sparing their valuable time to be with us in this gathering. I'm happy to place my note of thanks to all our stakeholders from states and the centers for their continuous support and valuable feedbacks. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. G. Ramdas, Director NIT, and their team for providing wonderful infrastructure and facilities to conduct this event in a smooth and successful manner. I'd like to thank all our supporters, all our sponsors, and for their timely support and assistance, whatever required. Special thanks to Presh Media for continuous coverage of this grand specific event. And also, I'm thankful to the group of Kabis today in our Hindi Kabi Sammelan. So your presence definitely has made us more memorable and the days become more beautiful. So last but not least, I proudly thank my director, Dr. M. B. Raman Murthy, who is instrumental for this institute growth towards his commitment in achieving the defined task. Special note of thanks to all those who are part of this NCCR, without whom the event would not have been possible. We once again thank all of our well-wishers and supporters for making this event more memorable and successful. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. As soon as we are done with the national anthem, I request all of you to assemble in front of the hall for a group photo, and it needs to be done as soon as possible because our minister has another schedule. And also high tea has been arranged at Manthan Hall. I now request everyone to rise for the national anthem.